Hello, my name is Jennifer Obaseki. Um, my full name is Jennifer Ukpoma Ariowa Obaseki. I'm originally from Nigeria. My parents are from Nigeria, but I was born and raised in Tottenham. I'm a lawyer uh, by profession, and I specialize in family, immigration, and property. I've actually been doing uh, legal work for almost 3 decades. I started off in Green Lanes, Haringey, in a firm called Pepe and Co. Then I moved to Finsbury Park. And then from there, I went to West London and I came back to settle in North East London, where my roots are. So I've been dealing with the community and helping charities and NGOs and individuals and businesses for almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm doing this video up is that because I think it's the best way to get to tell people exactly why I'm running for MP for Haringey. Really and truly, I am so worried about the area. I grew up in the area, as I've said, and I feel that in order for me to communicate why I'm running, the digital means is the easiest and best way. I really have been knocking doors, but I may not get to everybody's door. And this is for those who are online and who I really need to share this. Um, as I said, I grew up in Tottenham. My worry is I don't want people to feel that they have to leave Tottenham to become the best version of themselves or to achieve opportunities that are no longer there. When I was young, there were free clubs, after school clubs, summer play schemes where I learnt so much. I mingled, socialized, and developed my own character and confidence. Those things are no longer there, which is very sad to see. And if they are there, they're there at a cost. And a lot of the schools, especially students who I've been speaking to in the last few days, have said that they lack resources, lack teaching material. I went to the College of North East London, and when I was there, we had problems with the supply of teachers. I ended up having to go to another college outside of the area to attain my grades in order to get to university. The point is, another major issue is the streets need to be safe and clean and welcoming. When I was growing up, it was very welcoming and we had a very neighborly community feel. I want that to come back. I want people to be proud of Tottenham, not just the stadium, not just the station, but the entire area, and to be able to live in the area, for it to be affordable, accessible, affordable housing. And so that's the reason why I'm running. I want Tottenham to have better. Tottenham deserves better. Those living there deserve better. And I believe I'm the best person to deliver that for them. So, why the Workers' Party? Well, preliminarily, the reason was because they were calling to stop the war. That was a real important element because of the fact that I felt that the excessive force that was being used against the Palestinians was unfair. I could also see the manner in which it was escalating, and where women and children were the majority of those who were losing their lives. I felt something needed to be done from that level of activism of trying to promote the awareness of the balance of power and the history of what had happened in that region of the world. I then came into contact with Mr. Galloway, and from there, again, aligning with some of the issues, key issues that are, I would say, problematic within Tottenham, i.e., accessibility to affordable housing, some of the children that fall into the NEET category, not in education, employment, or training, and how I felt that that would not only have a cascading impact, a ricochet impact in the community if it's not dealt with right now, led to me then being put forward or asked if I would run for the MP in that area. And because I am so passionate about the area, I took up the mantle and I said yes. And not only that, the other things that the party stands for: value for wages, value for, let me just get that right. Yeah. So the other things that the party also stands for, such as making sure that you have a living and affordable wage. We work very hard in this country, but how certain professions are remunerated, those who are working at the forefront of the community, to those who work within emergency services, those who work within the service industry. It just doesn't seem to be fair. And the actual cost of living crisis that we've been facing. Though the Conservatives will have you believe that we're out of the recession, many people don't feel that they're out of the recession. They feel regress. They feel that the cost of their shopping basket keeps going up, the cost of their rents and mortgages keep going up. And the government doesn't seem to understand that the underpinning services that they keep stripping back are causing the quality of their lives to fall and spiral downwards. And those people in the communities, such as Tottenham, who are vulnerable or who are marginalized, who are just living above the living wage, they are really, really suffering and falling into crisis in some situations where just one incident leads them to have to spend money that they don't have. Then they fall into crisis. It becomes a problem, especially if they have children. And before you know it, so many families are actually living below poverty line and in crisis. And when I say crisis, I mean food crisis, living in food poverty, where they can't afford to eat. They can't afford to feed themselves, feed their children, and actually also manage their basic household bills. So because of this, I want to make change. It's important that the social services are equipped, resourced, and also intervention services are there to help and prevent families falling into crisis. We talk about families, but also individuals who their living situations have had a big toll on their mental health. As a legal practitioner, I've seen a number of people who start off with just having a minor problem, such as housing issues. Maybe they lose their accommodation, which is a common situation. From losing their accommodation, it affects their work. They lose their work. From losing their work, it impacts their mental health. Then before you know it, they end up in serious crisis. So from being professionals to being literally homeless and no real foresight or ability to get themselves out of that horrible cycle. They go to the housing say that they have to prove themselves homeless, from sofa surfing, distorting relationships between people with themselves and other people who themselves do not have the necessary resources to really help them get out of that rut. The local authorities, social services that they would think, their local council that they would think would be able to help them, suddenly can't. And it becomes a major issue. It's also really important for people to realize it is not a two-horse race, far from it. If you want change, you have to take action. You know what these two parties that are now quite similar are offering, and they've been offering that for years, but you have to look deeper. You need a party that can say no when what is going on around is wrong, that can stand up quickly, not be hesitant, not dilly dally. And you don't want the same, more of the same. You've seen what your current MP can do, and you've seen it year in, year out. What you need is better. What you deserve is better. So you've got to make that change and vote for the Workers' Party. One of the things I'll ask you to do is to have a look at the manifesto. Look at the main 10 points that the party is saying it is going to deliver, and understand that once your community grows, you will grow. Once the infrastructure and resources are there, you will have a better quality of life instantly. And I say that like, it's transformational, and it really is. It won't be overnight, yes, but I have to be in power, in seat as your MP in order to do that. The other thing that I will be doing is making sure that I respond to your inquiries. Currently, services are being cut, and I mean guillotines within the Tottenham area, and we want to make a change. Look at the Burnley Grant Centre. One of the youth projects is being pushed out of there, and I'm trying to make sure that they stay resourced and stay in place. When young people and even older people who need encouragement don't have it there within their community, what happens to them? They feel deflated. They feel that they've lost, and then they start to regress in life. So we need to make sure these particular services stay resourced, stay there to empower the local people of Tottenham. With every party, there are controversial issues, and within society, we've got a number of conflicting issues, cultures, beliefs. But what's important, especially with regards to religion, is religious tolerance. And also with regards to the LGBTQ plus community, it's making sure we use the right language and right level of understanding. I'm very willing to pull up a chair for everybody who is an expert on this area to make sure we are using the right language and make sure that we all are educated and informed, because where we lack knowledge, we may jump to assumptions, and assumptions, as you know, lead to mess ups, and that cannot happen. So it's important that we move forward, but nobody is marginalized or left behind. What would be the first three things if I get in as MP? I'll ask David Lammy to give me all his unanswered emails so that I can help bring support and results for those people that are in need. That's number one. And number two, I would also have a list of all the projects that are deemed for closure due to a lack of resources, especially those who act as intervention services in Tottenham for the young and the elderly. Those are so important, and I know a lot of them are very stretched. So that would be, and then that would be the second thing. Then the third thing that I would do is I would be looking at the schools, going around the schools to make sure those who are in crisis, urgent crisis need, because as you know, a lot of the schools are supplementing things like food and after school activities for families who are in crisis, a lot of the families who are in temporary accommodation that need help with even getting uniforms, books, and provisions for their students. I'd be looking at those schools, seeing which ones really need help and trying to make sure we act fast, because as we know, families who fall into crisis with children end up being often pushed into the care system, and we want to prevent that. We want to support children in their families rather than push children into care. Yes, it's one thing to support a cause or campaign or be an activist of some nature in something you believe in, but I want to be your voice within government where it counts, where it matters, where change, real change can happen. And I want to effect and enforce that change for the people of Tottenham. So not just getting to Parliament and having a voice, but actually making sure that the change that is needed takes place. I'm tired of seeing talk shops and committees and roundtables that don't take effect, or people say they've delivered a project and built nice shiny buildings or stadiums or stations, and not for that, not to have a proper effect within the community for the people, for it not to create real jobs for the people, accessible housing, social housing for the people, cleaner streets, safer streets for the people. So I really need to make sure that not just that your voices are heard, but your voices count and people actually react to them. Within Tottenham, there you need to have your voices heard and action taken for the things you need. The demographic is very clear in Tottenham. The needs of each individual community and each person is very obvious, but yet the effect and change that is needed is not taking place. But I want to do that for you. I want to deliver that for you as your MP. Well, another frustration is the fact that Tottenham is actually strategically placed. You think about the transport links, and the fact that it should be economically more empowered. There has been money spent around a new accommodation, but not really around the business infrastructure that's really needed. So that's to encourage inward investment into the area. When I was growing up, there was a place that was considered the Techno Park, Tottenham Techno Park, and I remember, I think Guest Techno used to have buildings around there. I used to ride my BMX around those parts. But a lot of the industrial estates that you're seeing there are not really doing business. Some have been converted into churches, but the potential for media, the potential for logistics, production, it needs to be fully optimized. And if I'm the MP, I'll be encouraging that inward investment for the creation of jobs, for the establishment of businesses, and to also to make sure those businesses that are there mushroom and actually reach their fullest potential, whether that's internationally, but at least locally, that they actually harvest the good people of Tottenham that can be there to input for their workforce and also help them expand to the best of their ability. Yeah, I do love the colours. I think they're beautiful, and as I said, I want to make sure that I am the next MP and in seat with these colours. It's got the blue, my Tottenham blue. Everybody knows I'm a Spurs fan. Yes, you may not be a Spurs fan, but yes, you understand that Spurs fans are loyal and faithful and hopeful, and that's where I have hope for Tottenham. Okay, what else? Hobbies. Yeah, I used to roller skate. I used to roller skate opposite the main stadium. Now there's a place that's Tottenham Sports Centre, the old Tottenham Sports Centre. They used to do roller skating there on a Saturday and gymnastics. I used to run 200 meters and train at New River Centre in Haringey. Yes, I did back in the day. But now I love music. Yes, I love all kinds of music and creatives. I love art. So that's another reason why I support a lot of the arts projects around London and in Africa. What am I scared of? Well, I'm not really scared of anything. I have some worries. I'm worried that people won't get to take the best choice of MP, which is me, obviously. And I'm scared people won't get to see this message or hear this video. So, really important that you do share this and worried that people will judge to some extent. But those who know me from the area, know that I'm sincere and know that I've grown up in the area and I'm passionate about it. I was born there. My mum died there. My family's lived there for almost 60 years actually in Tottenham. So very, very passionate about the area and progress. I'm one who likes and insists on progress. So, what do you need to do now? What you need to do is you need to make sure that on the 4th of July that you vote for myself, Jennifer Obaseki, or Jennifer Ukwanwa Ariowa Obaseki, if it's there in full, under the Workers' Party to be your new MP. And why you should vote for me is because those of you who have been voting for any of the other two parties for all this time have realised that you haven't had the change you need to see in Tottenham. They have not delivered it for you. I don't know why they haven't. They've not been accessible. From a lot of the reports I have received, even me in my attempts to contact the local MP have gone in with silence in return. I am accessible. And I'm not only that, I'm able to deliver. I have the resources, the skills, the experience to deliver all of the things that you need to make sure that your community is better. So on the 4th of July, you make sure you vote for myself as your new MP. And also, if you're doing the postal vote early, you make sure that you select me under the options to be your new MP. So I'd like to first of all thank you for the time that you spent listening to this message. And I'd like to thank you if you live in Tottenham, if you're from West Green Road, where I grew up, and all of those shopkeepers that are down there that have supported us, the Patel family, the Singh family, all of them, all of the families that are down there, even the neighbors, some of the people that used to babysit me still live around that area. And it's important for us to remember that community spirit, how I would say back then, how we used to look out for each other, from riding bikes to playing football in the parks, Downhills Park, from morning till evening, and doing so in relative safety back then, very carefree, and I would say also respecting our environment. We need to go back to that situation where, as a community, we love and respect each other, we keep our environment, and not only that, we take pride with who comes up from the area and who is just there as part and parcel of that beautiful, dynamic and multicultural area of Tottenham. Every single one of the communities and individuals that are there make it such a unique area that I'm immensely proud of. And so please make sure that you pass the message on, you share this video, and vote for me as your new MP. Thank you.